Hello everyone, you're welcome to today's teaching. This is a Art of Religion into a personal walk with God. It's been a series. Our topic today is don't live an ordinary life. Live a life of impact. Live a life knowing who you are in Christ. Live a life knowing that you are not ordinary. Don't live don't live like anyone else. Don't live like everyone else, because you're not everyone else. You're special. So I said, as a Christian, we are not ordinary. We are not shallow. We are not shallow. We are not just like another person. So we ought to live a life that will make an impact. We ought to live a different life from others. We're not small. We are big people. We are mighty people. We are mighty men and women, whether we know it or not. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 19, the Bible says, if it is in this life that we have hope, we are most miserable among men. That is, if all we are doing is living like every other person in this life while we are Christian, we are the people that are more miserable, because we are still under restrictions. I mean, if you're a Christian, you do as a Christian, you behave like a Christian, and you're not enjoying doing the things, you're not enjoying your Christian life, you're miserable, because there is already a restriction on you, which you're not taking advantage of being a Christian. The calling God has for us is huge, and He sees us that way. Do you know that God don't see you the way you see yourself? He sees you differently. He sees you from whom He have made you to be. You are the one that see yourself, oh, I'm this is my height, this is my weight, this. God sees something else. So I said, so we ought to see our life that way. Our thinking and mentality should reflect God's purpose. Our thinking and mentality should reflect who God has called us to be. We are neither small or pitiable. We are not pitiable people. We are the most advantaged race on earth, though we act as if we don't know this. We are most people that have advantage, but we act as if we don't know these things. We are going to use the story of Gideon to illustrate what God sees, that God sees differently. We see ourselves a certain way, and God is seeing us differently. We are going to use the story of Gideon to illustrate this. The main ingredients you need to succeed in this world is knowing Christ. Christ is the equation. Christ is the equation that will set you apart. Christ makes the whole difference. Christ will rewrite the story of your family. God is constantly watching out for those who will seek for Him. Watching out for those who will say, God, here I am, use me. God is constantly looking for those who will go all the way out for Him, not those who will follow Him with double-mindedness. I'm saying that God is looking for those people that will separate themselves and understand and believe who they are in Christ and do mighty things for Him. So let's use the story of Gideon. So that is Judges chapter 6, verse 11 to 14. But let me start reading from verse 12. So verse 12, I read. When the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, the Lord is with you, mighty warrior. Gideon said, pardon me. Like, who are you talking to? Gideon said, pardon me, Lord. Gideon replied, but if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? Why are all these wonders? Where are all the wonders that our ancestors told us about? When they said, did not the Lord bring us out of Egypt? But now the Lord has abandoned us and given us into the hand of the Midianites. So Gideon is sounding like me and you today. So he's saying, Gideon, the angel told Gideon, how are you, mighty warrior, mighty man of God? Gideon is answering the angel, who is mighty, me? If the Lord is, the angel said, the Lord is with you. Gideon said, if the Lord is with me, where are the wonders that our ancestors told us about? You know, the ancestors told them about how God delivered them from the land of Egypt, the many mighty things, the miracles that God did. So now, presently, the Israelites were being persecuted by the Midianites, and Gideon was at this time suffering part of the oppression of the Midianites. So when the angel said, "You're a mighty man, God is with you," he said, "How can that be when we are suffering in this hand of the Midianites?" So I'm saying that this sound like us today. These statements sound like us. If God is with me, why am I going through all these difficulties? Why is this happening to me? Why is my child sick? Why didn't I pass my exam? Why is God delaying in bringing to pass what He promised me? But the angel of the Lord insisted, even though Gideon doubted. I was like, angel, did you see who you're talking to? Even though the Gideon doubted, but the angel insisted. In verse 14. So, let me read verse 14 of it. Insisted. He didn't listen. He didn't let what Gideon said discourage him. He said, the Lord turned to him and said, that's the angel now, go in the strength you have and save Israel out of the Midianites. And am I not the one sending you? So the Lord said, you are the one that will deliver the Israelites from the hand of the Midianites. Am I not the one sending you? Am I not the Lord? While he's still asking, why are we suffering in the hand of the Midianites? Angel of God is telling him, you are the one God have chosen to deliver the Israelites from this oppression. God said, am I not the one sending you? Let's see what, okay, what I wrote. So verse 14, the angel said, go in the strength that you have, save Israel in the hand of the Midianites. God is saying, am I not the one sending you, Gideon? So, despite what Gideon is thinking, God is still insisting because God knows who we are. He knows whom he has made us to be. We should take our eyes away from man's feeble strength and understand that we are not called to war by our own strength. So I'm saying that Gideon is looking at his own strength as a human being. These Midianites are oppressing us, and the angel is telling me I'm the one that will deliver the Israelites from their hand. Who am I? How can I do that? So I'm saying that we should take our eyes away from our own feeble strength. We should understand that we are not, this war or this life or this race is not by our own physical efforts. We are to war by the strength of the Lord. All God requires to see from us is faith. All God wants from us is, if you have given your life to Christ, trust him. Faith, commitment. Be committed to things you say you will do. If you say you want to run this race, be committed. When we commit to do something, having faith in God, he knows how to bring it to pass. The assignment is requiring for us to do, though it seems great, but God knows how to bring it to pass. The scripture says, by no arm or flesh shall anyone prevail. God is not expecting you to use your strength to live as Christian. He expects us to depend on him. God is not expecting you to do all the things you need to do, live a holy life, be prayerful, do all the righteousness by your strength. When the Bible says, by no arm shall anyone prevail. Verse 15, Gideon said, pardon me, Lord. Reply, how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh. I wrote it out here. And I'm the least in the family. Gideon asked God this question, and this sounds like us today. When God said, you are the one that will deliver Israel from the hand of the Midianites, Gideon said, how can I? How can it be? My clan is the weakest. The weakest. We are the least in the family. I don't have the know-how. I don't have the mind. I don't have the strength. That's how we sound today. God, this one happened. You see, I'm not too tall enough. My voice is not good. I can't sing in the choir. This one, all manner of excuses. You don't understand like us. So, we have millions and one excuses we can give to God to do things we can do in our own personal life. And there are some things you can do. If you don't attempt them, you won't even be able to know that it's not that difficult. You know what I have found that, I'm just saying this. You know what I found out in my own personal life? That most times, there are always things that seem so difficult. Those things that seem impossible to achieve. If you attempt it, you can find out, oh, this is what I can do. It is not as tedious as you think. I'm just speaking normally, and I'm not talking about Gideon. I'm talking about normally as a human being. There's some things you want to do this class, want to do this course, want to do this something. It looks so difficult. But I'm saying that sometimes when you attempt it, those things doesn't look as difficult as they present themselves or we imagine them to be. So let's read verse 16 to see what God told Gideon. So verse 16, God said, I have it here already. I can read from anywhere. The Lord said, I'll be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving them alive. Leaving none alive. God is telling Gideon, what I've asked you to do, you will do them. I'm going to be with you. The Midianites are going to kill all of them. You're not going to leave any one of them alive. You can do it. I am the Lord and the one supporting you and the one sending you. This statement is made to Gideon, but it's also made to us to know that most time God is with us. Not even most time, is always. God is always saying, many times God is saying, I'm with you, fear not. I will help you and sustain you with my victorious right hand. It is always what God is telling us. God, in the Bible, God said, call upon me on the day of trouble, I will answer you. These are all scriptures God is using to affirm to us that he is not letting us do these things alone. These are all scriptures that God is willing to help us, ready to answer when we call, ready to intervene in the situation if we trust him. Call upon me and do trouble to answer you. God didn't answer. The Bible said, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not in your understanding. That's Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Lean not in your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge me, direct your path. Those things that seem insurmountable, just call him. How do you hope to live by your effort? I'm asking this question. When you live by your strength and intellect, you are living an ordinary life. Remember I said that the topic is you are not ordinary. Don't live an ordinary life. Live a life of impact. So when you live in your own strength and your intellect, that's an ordinary life. A preacher once come to America. I think a preacher that come from another country where they have let me say active people going to church. Let me say 80 or 79%. They trust in God. They believe in God. So this preacher come from that kind of a community, from that kind of country. He saw America. He saw all the great things. He saw all the good inventions that's in America. The preacher said, "See all the mighty things Americans can achieve without God. See the tall buildings. See the inventions. All these things these people achieve, these scientists achieve without God. See all the discoveries. See all the inventions, breakthroughs in medicine man can achieve without depending on God or without trusting God. That's their own intellect." Can you imagine for a split second? This is what I'm saying this now. Can you imagine for a split second if these great discoveries made in sciences are directly motivated, inspired, and given by the Spirit of God? I mean, a scientist, before he go to the lab to discover things, he prayed, he fasted, he asked God for intervention to give him the breakthrough. That's what I'm trying to draw the parallel. What we have achieved so far and what we could achieve. Imagine that all our scientists are Christians. They are born again. They are walking in the Spirit. They know God. Whatever they do, anything, they depend on God. Imagine the kind of thing would have happened on earth. That's what I'm saying here. I say, imagine if what will happen if our scientists are Christian, who listen to God and to direct them in each new research. Can you imagine so much advancement we can have on earth? But guess what? It's coming. It's coming. I'm not saying that God did not give man brain or intellect. God did. That's why we are seeing all this discovery. That's why you see the house, everything we have today. God have already given us the science. But I'm talking about the Spirit of God directing you. I want to do this. Imagine what would have happened if our scientists, our researchers, our computer analysts are doing all these things with God's Spirit directing them. I said, but it's coming. Guess what is coming? Christians are coming. So just don't think yourself small. Believe in the creative ability God has given us. Trust Him in any way, any business you're doing, any career you're doing. God will use you to show off His power. I mean, if you're a businessman, if you're in a real estate, if you're in any form of creativity you're doing, and you add God to the equation, that's what I'm talking about. See what God will use you to do. See all the unbelievers could have achieved without directly depending on God. Imagine if Christians can be creative and depend on God, more things would have had. So let's finally round up Gideonite. So I said in chapter 17, finally God did as He told Gideon and fought by himself in the war. Let's read it directly, actually. When Gideon accepted to do what God asked him to do, let's read it directly from the Bible. It said, when the 300 men sounded, the Lord caused the men throughout the camp to turn on each other with their sword. The army fled to Beth-Shephar towards Zerah, as far as the border of the Merokai. When Gideon accepted to go and fight, he had 300 men. When they have landed themselves, positioned themselves to fight, the Bible said the Lord caused the men throughout the Ether, as far as border of Israel, to start killing themselves. The Midianites soldiers, each start fighting each other. Gideon didn't have to fight. God did what He told Gideon and fought for himself in the battle. Gideon defeated the Midianites, who has been troubling the Israelites. God caused the armies of the Midianites to turn against each other. They killed themselves. Gideon did not need to fight. The Spirit of God intervened and moved mightily. And the people killed themselves. Gideon's men have 300 men. Meanwhile, these Midianites, they are many. So how can they defeat them if not the intervention of God? So God is awesome. All He needed somebody to trust on Him. So much He can achieve through us if we are willing. Gideon, remember that Gideon played his part. before the battle starts, it's to save time and make us didn't read that. God had asked Gideon to go and destroy the pagan gods in his father's house. Let me read it why I wrote it. Gideon played his own part in this battle. It was to, Gideon did his part in this battle by destroying all the idols in his father's house, as God had instructed him to do. God had told him to work with him. But to start with, God had asked him to destroy all the idols and high places in his father's house before he can work with him. God is a jealous God. You cannot leave the idols in your life and expect God to use you mightily. God will not take you serious. God said, my glory I will share with no one. So if God is calling you to his service, look around to see if there's some things that you put more value to. Is it your children? Is it your whatever it is? Those things you value, they come first. You do them first before you call upon God. Those things that are hindering you. If God is saying, come and do this, no, God is saying, I'm busy with this, my business. Those are the idols. You may not have a physical idol you worship. But those things that you put before God, those are the idols. Your businesses, whatever it is, that are so important that you do them first. Those are the idols. So for God to take you serious, keep those things in their own place. Put God first. Trust God. He doesn't like idol. Like this place we read. God asked Gideon, go and destroy the idols in your father's house. And he obeyed before God can use him. In the fight that he was afraid of, he didn't fight. He just assembled, do as God asked him, carry his 300 men. The Midianites are more than 300. There are thousands. But God caused the Midianites to fight against themselves and defeat, and that now gave this 300 people encouragement. When they see them killing themselves, it now gave the 300 people encouragement to now fight them. And they flew, they ran away from them. Thousands of people, over 300 men. Because God is with them. Because God is one doing the fighting. So what are we saying? We are saying that so much God can do through us if we are willing. Not even ordinary life, not ordinary. Don't look at how tall, short, or how you are, or your own strength. I'm saying that the difference between you and the next person is the God in you, the Christianity in you, that ability. That sort of God in you make the difference. I'm saying that what if our scientists, we ourselves, the creative power God giving us, what if we use it and allow the Spirit of God to help us? Do you know how many things we have on earth? How many discourses we will have? So we are not ordinary, I said again. Live life of impact. Let God use you mightily. Let God showcase his power. God is looking for those to show forth his power. But we are too busy. We are not serious. We want to finish what we are doing. Gideon gave all the excuses we give today. Oh, I'm small. My family is the least. But when he accepted to destroy the idols in his father's house and say, God, here I am. All God needed is a trust, the commitment, the confidence, and the ability to say, I can do it. God, use me, I can do it. And God was able to fight his own war by his own hand. He caused the pen to kill himself. So that is it for today. It's just an encouragement to let us know that we are not small. We are mighty through God. Thank you.